Two granddaughters of a former Omaha restaurateur are facing charges for allegedly stealing more than $500,000 combined from their grandmother's trust.
Court records say the money was taken from Caterina Mallara, the owner of the former Italian restaurant Malara's in Omaha. The restaurant closed in 2023. Prosecutors claim Ashley Gomez and Alexandria Cuda wrote themselves $150,000 checks, which were pre-signed by Mallara.
The checks were dated in January of 2023. That's a day after they learned they were not receiving money from her estate. The family told prosecutors they became aware of the checks after the grandmother passed. The two women allegedly gave different stories to police about the money. Prosecutors say Gomez also opened credit cards in her grandmother's name, totaling more than $260,000. They're both scheduled to appear in court tomorrow in Douglas County. The charge, theft by unlawful taking.